Hello and welcome to American Friction, the US politics podcast that wears chinos more often than jeans, so we can avoid all of that controversy. I'm Jacob Jarvis, and joining me is jean wearer. So wonder about her politics.
What does it mean?
Registered Republican, Nikki McCann Ramirez. Hi, Nikki.
It's true. I have great genes. They're so good.
And someone else with great genes is back today. Chris. I'm back.
I am back, but I'm actually wearing cargo trousers.
Whoa,
so
because you're ready for action.
I'm always ready for action.
Yeah.
All the pockets have got so many screwdrivers.
Yeah, you'd love to be in the army, I reckon.
Do you reckon?
Let's do it.
Nearly went in the army when I was younger.
Did you?
Yeah, Mum said no.
My mum said no.
My mum said no. Fair enough. Right, all right, on to the show anyway then. On this show, lies, damned lies, and statistics. Trump fires his statistics chief because they gave him stats he didn't like. Don't tell him the truth, he can't handle the truth. Plus, as well as that, in addition to that, he's been hanging out on the roof of the White House for fun.
Why not?
Cool. And as well as talking about those things, we'll wrap up other stories you might have missed, answer a listener question, and do a silly Willy Billy question from our resident silly Billy, Chris, won't we?
Oh, I hate
Chris, come on.
I hate that you scripted it that way. We're so back. Oh, I'm not over that. Anyway, this is American Friction.
Before we get into it, this is an appeal. We need your support. We need you now. Much like the army needed brave young men like Chris,
like me?
but his mum wouldn't let him.
No.
We need brave backers to back us on Patreon, and make sure your mum doesn't find out, okay? We love making the show, but it costs money to make, and that's why we need you to back us on Patreon.
Yes, please.
To keep going. So from £3 a month, you get the show ad-free. Other tiers get you access to bonus content and merchandise, and there's a Patreon chat community as well, where we'll all ask questions with each other and we'll just talk about stuff. It'll be really nice. And you could ask us about any problems.
Yeah,
you don't need
anything.
You don't need to speak to your mum anymore. You've got us. For £5 a month, we'll be a bit like your mum. So what are you waiting for? Follow the link in the show notes.
No, chat, I will not be your mommy. I will not be your mommy.
Look, guys, well, not £5 a month. We won't be mommy and daddy.
No, I reckon we just move past this now.
But maybe, I don't know.
Maybe for 50.
Let's
Okay.
50. Yeah, that's lowballing. Chris won't be doing any of that because,
I'm just over here in my cargo trousers, not being in the army.
But anyway, follow the link in the show notes or go to patreon.com/American Friction to sign up. All right, children, let's begin the show. So, first, let's talk about Trump being on the roof of the White House. This was just a standout bit of weirdness this week. Nikki,
No, I totally get it.
Is he being just weird? And it's kind of continues from our conversation last week of how he's kind of losing it a little bit. Or is this just performative weirdness for his own japes and jollies?
Look, as someone who is not completely correct in the head,
Yeah.
who sometimes gets urges and impulses they cannot fully control, I 100% understand the little animalistic part of his brain that found out he could go on the roof of the White House and was like, I need to be there.
So
because that is me.
In lockdown, my friend looked at our house using Google Earth and realized there was a hatch on our roof, and it was the most exciting day ever.
Give me a hatch. Give me a trap door. Give me a sunrise in a vantage point location. I'm there. Would I sit there and yell at the neighbors? Probably. If I had reporters yelling questions at me about why I'm on the roof, I think I would answer. Was it bizarre? Would it be like a months-long news cycle if it was any other president? Imagine if Biden
Yeah, man. Biden
just wandered onto the roof of the White House.
Ice cream down him, just strolling around the roof, looking like that meme of the old man who ate paint. Yeah, it's very strange.
Look, he's out there. He's living his best life. And I totally get it. Sometimes you just need to be on a roof and look out at the sky and feel your feelings. And sometimes there are reporters there and they have questions and you can answer them. But one of the things I've said on this podcast is that I hate when the president is relatable in a funny way. Mm-hmm. And I think this is relatable in a funny way.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think fair play. But Chris, not fair play when it comes down to it. It's quite a dumb move, isn't it?
It's as cool people would say, hella dumb.
Okay, talk me through why it's so dumb. There's a lot of security for Trump for quite a lot of reasons, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, do I really have to talk you through the reasons why it's dumb?
Yeah, but I reckon you've researched some more dumb details.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Smart details about him being dumb.
Well, these are very obvious details, I'd say, really. If you're the president, you don't go onto the roof of a building of such high importance as this. There's a reason why there is a team of snipers on top of the White House around the clock. And it's because there's a high chance that it could be a target of some kind of attack. Like, that's just, that's truth. And if the president goes onto the roof, there's a chance that if those snipers do have to fire, they won't fire because there are people in the way, i.e. the president of the United States. It's pretty basic. Just don't go on the roof, pretty much. But I think...
that's truth.
That is truth. Very good. That's great. That's all the content we've come for. I do, though, I think there are two potential actual reasons here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
One, it's just over a year since that assassination attempt.
Yeah.
And there could be an element here of him wanting to show, how unaffected he has been by that attempt in a sign of strength, I guess. That's one reason. The other reason is he was, up there with him was the architect, what's his name, Jim McCrary, who is designing a ballroom within the White House.
Yeah.
So there could have actually been some actual construction, reasoning for him to go out there. But also, I don't know why the president has to be on the roof to talk about construction of the ballroom.
Yeah.
You'd kind of think he has people for that.
Yeah, it's not like when I've got some sort of builder at my house and I have to stand around going, "Oh, mate, I did think that might be a problem." Oh, mate, one of them.
Yeah,
sure, do that. Like I have to accompany them and pretend I know what's going on.
Exactly.
Trump doesn't need to do that.
He doesn't need to do that. No,
he really doesn't.
No.
But yeah, right. Well, so there's that little bit of weirdness. Let's get past that. Nikki, the war on reality and facts that we're seeing at the moment, I think is a wider thing I want us to discuss. So he fired his stats chief over the jobs report that came out. He didn't like it, yada, yada, yada. Is this, though, basically more worrying? Is that it's clearly he's trying a power grab to make it so the only truth in the United States is going to be his truth. He's trying to own the truth a bit here.
Oh, absolutely. It's really common in authoritarian takeovers, authoritarian backslides, that one of the things the authoritarian entity government will target are government-run statisticians, data collections, sort of like banks of information about the nation they are trying to govern. And in this case, what you really see is the president outright, not eliminating, because he's not going to eliminate the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, but, sort of like Night of the Long Knives shanking the head of the Bureau because they are accurately reporting economic data that doesn't align with his claim that, this is the golden age of America and endless prosperity. And for as much as he can do that, he is doing it. Legally, is it dubious? Ethically, of course, but he's doing it. I think if we're going to take a lesson away here from 2020 is what Republicans are trying to do between now and the midterms, now and 2028, is ensure that they can retain power regardless of the will of the voter, because they are lying to the voter. The economy is not doing great. This isn't, a golden age of economic prosperity for the people who voted for Trump. We're not getting, thousands of extra dollars on our paychecks because of tax cuts and the tariffs and everything. And if anything, consumers are being squeezed in real time. And if we learned anything from 2020, it was that you cannot have the economy be bad and then just insist that it's good and win an election. So Republicans are going to make sure that they can insist things are good even if it's bad and still win the election. And we're going to get into, the redistricting efforts in Texas and the gerrymandering later. But this is just another signal of what the administration is prioritizing, and that is creating a narrative that allows them to not only like make these power grabs, but in the future support further power grabs.
Chris, taking a
Jarv.
step backwards for a moment.
Ooh.
Who was it who was fired? When did it happen? How big of a role is it?
It's a big role. It was Erica.
Do you reckon you could do it?
No.
You're our stats man.
I can barely talk into this wee microphone in front of me here.
It's a big mic, don't worry.
It's medium size, I'd say. Actually.
Don't emasculate the microphone, okay?
Okay, right. So is Erica McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
I have butchered that name several times. Someone will correct me if I've said it wrong, but that's what
Probably,
I'm going
I
for.
don't know.
Thank you, Nikki, for the confidence. She was the head of the Bureau of Labour Statistics, so essentially responsible for delivering jobs reports to the president. Lots of other stuff. I mean, I've simplified that there, but specifically what Trump took issue with was the job growth numbers this summer. He said basically that she'd faked it in a political move to smear his character, I guess, his character and his what's the word I'm looking for here?
Reputation.
That's a good one. As president, there is absolutely no evidence for this.
No.
Who'd have thought it? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Trump with evidence. Whoa. So yeah, bosh. But what's interesting about her role is that she was elected in 2023 by a bipartisan vote.
Okay.
Can you guess who voted for her to get the role in 2023?
What, in the
Just
Senate?
looking for two names. Well, there's quite a few names,
quite
but
a lot.
the two of the biggest names.
In the Senate? I don't know. Some big. Rand Paul.
No.
I
Think
don't know.
higher.
Who am I thinking higher?
Yeah, maybe like vice
A
president.
former senator who is now,
J.D. Vance.
two
Yeah.
former, and then there's another one who's also in the cabinet.
Marco Rubio.
Yeah,
Hey!
nice. So they voted for her to be in the position that she's in now. It's crazy,
ridiculous, man.
but
Yeah.
there has been a lot
We
of
could
backlash.
just replace the whole podcast with that noise you made.
Yeah.
That's been the podcast
Honestly,
for the last few
it's
months.
so mind-boggling because I've tried to look for evidence, and we've spoken to an expert coming up on Monday about if there's any evidence to show that these numbers have been faked, and there just isn't. It's really quite bizarre, and that has brought about a lot of backlash. Specifically, I found this one quite interesting from the former BLS commissioner who was put in place by Trump in 2019. This was William Beach, and he said on X, he said this, the totally groundless firing of Dr. Erica McIntyre, my successor as Commissioner of Labour Statistics at BLS, sets a dangerous precedent and undermines the statistical mission of the Bureau. So he's getting all kinds of backlash from people who, perhaps shouldn't be giving him backlash.
So I wouldn't want to be BLS commissioner. Do you know what I would like to be? BLT commissioner.
BLT commissioner.
Now, that's the job.
That's a
for
pretty
me.
tasty role.
Yeah, exactly. Nikki, who does it
Thanks,
look
man.
like
The
is going
BLT.
to the BLT commissioner?
Yeah,
I'd say
that's
it in
pretty
a
good.
Really sort of
Yeah, master of lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be real nice. Nikki, who is going to replace them in this role, and are they good?
So it seems like one of the people they're floating is a guy named E.J. Antoni, who was an economist at the Heritage Foundation, the conservative think tank that produced Project 2025. He was very involved with Project 2025, and from what we know, is very critical of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So as has happened several times in this administration, when they're looking for a guy to do something lightly fashy, they'll just go to the Heritage Foundation and be like, hey, do you hate this thing? Do you want to work for us? That's unconfirmed. It's just been lightly reported, but that might be the person.
It's a worry here that this is going to be, I mean, domestically, I'm sure it poses all sorts of issues, but internationally for America, is this a bit worrying for your global reputation?
Brother, what reputation?
Hey,
We're
I'm
an
trying to be
embarrassment.
polite. No, we like America still a little bit. They,
You're
the best at baseball. And everyone plays that.
We're the best at American football.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not even football, really, is it?
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I just look. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. Some of the cuts are mortal wounds. Some of them are little paper cuts. At a certain point, this one's gonna feel really mild compared to all the stuff that's going on. But yeah, it is another signal we are sending to the world that the United States is like backsliding democratically, that we have an authoritarian in office, and that things might get really ugly here down the line because, you know, the chaos engine that's running this machine is off the rails.
Nikki, we've spoken about watersheds with Trump quite a lot, but does this feel like another Rubicon has been crossed, or I don't know, are you tired of crossing Rubicons at this point?
I'm tired of crossing Rubicons. I'm the Rubicon. There's enough. It's been enough Rubicons. I don't think there's much left to be crossed. I think we're pretty much on the other side at this point. I talk to my friends and coworkers a lot about the feeling that I don't know how we undo the damage. Like, as a nation, how do we come back from this period that's just getting started? Like, we are only 6-7 months into this. There's another 3 years where a lot can happen. Things can get a lot worse. There have already been things done that I think are irredeemable. And in the future, I hope, you know, future scholars and historians think are irredeemable. But it's like, how do we undo this? How do you uncollapse an empire? Big Fall of Rome vibes. But yeah, I think we're completely on the other side.
Chris, there's something that is going to have really annoyed you and upset you. I know you care about polls. I know you care about how the numbers are tallied up and you want people to talk about it accurately.
Well, Trump's not, is he?
He's not doing it, is he? Yes, see, I knew you'd be upset.
He's not doing it.
He's denying the reality of polling, isn't he? Talk me through
Well,
this.
he's just making numbers up. He's just chucking them out there. By the way, best Rubicon, guava.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, best flavour.
It is good, but I'm still a mango guy.
No, guava's the best. But yeah, back to the fake polling. He was on, it was CNBC's Squawk Box.
Squawk Box.
Which is great.
Name,
he phoned in and he claimed that he's got the best polling numbers he's ever had.
He doesn't. Ever.
No, he
doesn't.
No, he doesn't. In fact, he said, these were what he claimed to have, actually. 71% approval rating amongst everyone.
Okay.
Everyone.
In the world.
Everyone.
In the world.
You.
Yeah, even me. And my mum. And 94/95% with Republicans. He's unsure about that 1%.
Okay.
He said both. But I liked what you said actually about that. It's very much like, you can't say 100 because that feels like you're cheating too obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you would do that in like year 5 when... I mean, I never did. I never cheated on any exams or anything. But you would do that just to, you know, there's a little bit of leeway there. Could be telling the truth, but he's not.
I just studied really hard.
Well, yeah, Trump's not doing that either, to be honest. He's lied about this. I don't know where he's getting these numbers from. I had a look at Real Clear Politics that collates and tracks the average of all of the pollers. And their rating has him at 46% approval rate. And over 50% disapproval amongst all of these polls, including leaning right polls. Couldn't find a single one that has 71% anywhere with everyone. Even Rasmussen Reports, which is, you know, let's say fairly right-leaning.
Yeah.
Calm down. Calm down. We can see you chomping at the
Rasmussen.
bit. Yeah. That has his approval rating at 48%. So, I mean, I don't know where he's got his numbers from, but they're wrong.
Yeah. Now to round up some other stories you might have missed. So, Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney, Nikki, is she a eugenicist?
I fucking hate this. I hate this entire controversy.
It is the most stupid story for a long time.
Look, the ad is incredibly tone deaf.
Yeah, let's wind back on the ad for anyone who's not watched it.
So, if you haven't heard of this, Sydney Sweeney did like an advertising campaign with the American denim brand, American Eagle, you know, classic America.
Hell yeah.
And the advertisement was framed around this like tagline, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. And in some instance, they spelled it like genes like your genetics, and they would cross it out and then write jeans like your denims.
Yeah.
And there was one video that had like a really weird narration where Sydney Sweeney was like doing this like sexy little voice about like genetics is like information passed down from your parents to you and na. That is incredibly tone deaf.
Yeah.
A blonde, blue-eyed woman who is incredibly attractive, love Euphoria, love her, talking about, you know, how great her genetics are at a moment in time where you have just like national tension about the fact that the government is going around to Latino neighborhoods, stopping brown people who don't look like, you know, white Aryan Americans and deporting them at will. Like, it's a very tone deaf ad to have in this specific political moment. And it got some backlash. The first thing was that freak right-wingers on the internet were like, oh my God, woke is dead. Like, big boobs are back. Yeah. White women are in again.
It's like the second time they've done that as well. Just like Sydney Sweeney just turns up with big boob and they're like, woke is over. Thanks
Every time Sydney Sweeney wears a low-cut top, white nationalists are like, oh, eugenics are back, baby. Like, I have not heard her make a publicly racist statement. So like,
no.
Like, we can talk about the fact that, like, the reports that she's a registered Republican, but, like, I don't know enough about Sydney Sweeney's politics to be like, yeah, you're a racist. So I don't really want to touch on that too much. But anyway, so, you know, the white nationalists got, like, really horned up and political about this advertising campaign. And then it got critiqued by, like, TikTokers. That I did come across TikTok videos in the wild being like, this campaign is tone deaf and, like, supports eugenics and na. It then escalated into the entire right-wing media apparatus, creating this narrative that Democrats were having like a full-blown freak out about Sydney Sweeney, which is not the case. Donald Trump has weighed on it. Fox News mentioned it like 700 times over the course of the week, and at the same time only mentioned like Jeffrey Epstein for I think a total of 3 minutes. And I can't think of a single like Democratic lawmaker who has something to say about Sydney Sweeney's genes, genetics, or pants. Yeah. So it became this like really manufactured controversy, which then again I think was also another way that the right-wing media apparatus was trying to distract from like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff and all the other things they have going on. But that's the short-ish version of what the hell is going on with Sydney Sweeney.
It was so weird. I mean, I'm just gonna say I think she just got offered loads of money and did an advert, and that's probably as far as she thought about it. Really, probably.
I'll be honest, I haven't actually seen it.
Really?
I haven't seen it. I've seen lots of talk.
That's because
about...
Chris is pure of heart.
Chris closes his eyes anytime Sydney Sweeney comes on screen. He's never seen Sydney Sweeney.
Never seen her. Refuse.
He just goes, no.
Refuse.
No, what's
That's
going
not
on?
my woman.
Only bad things follow. Yeah. So, just best to
Sydney Sweeney.
Best to just stay clear and ignore it.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Coughs up a little fur ball. Yeah. Okay. Well. Right, fair enough. On weird kind of racist stuff that has been said by Trump, what has he been talking about when it comes to farm workers? And sounding a bit eugenicist-y there as well.
See, this man is out here inventing like new forms of racism. So in that same CNBC interview where he lied about his poll numbers, the administration has been doing this thing where it pretends like it's sparing certain categories of migrants because it would affect major American industries. So like agriculture, because a lot of undocumented migrants do work in agriculture, or like the service industry, restaurants, casinos, sort of like service industry work is another big one. Businesses have been complaining to the Trump administration that, you know, ICE is coming in, raiding their workplaces, deporting their employees, and they're having trouble managing their stuff. And again, because this country does not run on basic human decency, the rights of people, and, you know, the principle that you should treat good people the same way you should want to be treated, it runs off greedy capitalist fuck shit. The response has been, okay, we need to pretend the exceptions we need to grant here need to be based on like an economic need, not just the fact that the way we're going about this immigration crackdown is insane and inhumane and unjustified. So Trump and his administration have been publicly saying that, they're carving out exceptions for agricultural workers or for service industry workers, or like they might make them leave and let them come back. Or, there was a time period where they were like, oh, we're going to exempt farms from ICE raids. It's not true. People are still getting rounded up. People are still getting deported. But Trump was asked about it in the CNBC interview. And he did the whole song and dance where he was like, no, we're going to take care of our farmers. Like, we understand. We know that these are your workers. And then he just goes on to say, like, no, they tell me that, like, they need these people because they are, quote, naturally inclined to do this work. And he told this, like, insane story about talking to a farmer who he asked, oh, well, what happens if, like, an undocumented laborer gets a bad back? And that the farmer told him that, no, that doesn't happen because if they get a bad back, they die, which is not the case. I am a Latina and I have a bad back. Yeah. I am not dead. Like this whole, like it's scientific racism. The president was doing scientific racism on national TV, claiming that Latinos, Hispanics are somehow like naturally inclined to do backbreaking labor in the fields. And that's why we need to spare some of them from deportation. It literally sounds like the shit slave owners used to say to justify slavery. Like, oh, this category of people is naturally inclined to be abused and exploited. So that's why it's okay that we abuse and exploit them. Infuriating. And again, I keep coming back to the man has always been a racist. He also in that segment used the term inner city, which is a boomer code word for Black people who live in urban areas. And he's always been a racist, but you can just tell that something in his brain is like crumbling slowly, and it's just coming out in new and novel ways. And it's really abhorrent because we aren't talking about the theoretical. We are talking about real people who are being like sent back to nations where they might be in danger, separated from their families, put in horrific detention centers. And it's just become part of like the everyday parlance. And I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, it's like he used to be dog whistly and he still is a bit dog whistly, but it felt like it's slipping, and now it's sort of 50-50. Like he'll as you say, in an interview like that, he'll do some dog whistles, then he'll just do some outright just racist shit, and then he'll be like, oh no, fuck, I'm not meant to be outwardly racist. So inner city is what I mean, and it's so weird.
I mean, the way he's been talking about Latino people is basically he's talking about them as if they're like workhorses, like literally. Workhorses or donkeys, because they are only there in his mind to do the manual work, the manual labor, and actually that there's no human intelligence there. It's so fucking, it's awful. It is really awful.
Yeah, it's incredibly gross.
But it's also just like such a common thing in the United States. And it crosses the political spectrum. I hear it from conservatives. I hear it from so-called liberals. To talk about undocumented people as if their only value and function is to do work that like white people don't want to do, like white affluent people don't want to do. It's like, oh, well, they are farms and there are janitors and they're people who do all kinds of work that isn't just menial labor that you don't want to do. They're people with like homes and values and families and ambitions. And it makes me so mad. I actually can't stand it. Do
you remember when Kelly Osbourne was on that talk show that time?
Yes.
It's like exactly that. Like, do you remember this? So she's on this talk show and she's trying to sort of do a snap back at Trump for being racist. And then she's like, well, if you get rid of all the Latinos, who's going to clean your bathroom, Mr. Trump? I was like, who's going to clean your toilet, Mr. Trump? And everyone is just like, whoa, no, Kelly Osbourne. And she's like proper like, and it's just like, it's the horseshoe theory of woke. She's fucked it.
That's not good, is it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It's also, like, I know he's
sorry to be mean to Kelly whilst she's mourning.
While she's grieving.
We're all mourning, let's be honest.
We're all, yes.
But it is genuinely shocking that, well, it's not actually because Trump's an idiot, but the fact that he continues to talk about Latinos in this way, despite actually seeming to not Like you would think that with the way that he's spoken about these people, that those who can vote wouldn't vote for, a conservative candidate like him. But there is evidence to show that there are some people within the Latino community that are voting Republican, and therefore you'd expect language to change no matter how they see the people from this community and whether they're undocumented or not. You would expect the language to change, but it hasn't. If anything, it's got worse and more racist.
Texas. Let's look at Texas then. So Democrats they've been fleeing the state of Texas. Why? Explain this to me, Nikki. And what consequences do they face should they return to Texas?
So yeah, fleeing the state is what the way we've been referring to it. It does have an actual name, which is called a quorum break. Okay. In the Texas legislature, you need a 2/3 attendance in order to open a session and conduct business. There's 150 legislators, I think, in the Texas legislature. So you need at least 100. Mm-hmm. So last month, reports emerged that Trump was floating this new strategy to try and juice Republicans' chances of keeping the House in the midterms. And that is essentially to go to Republican states and ask them to gerrymander their electoral map even more in order to squeeze out more potentially Republican districts for the 2026 midterms. Redistricting is the process in which, states draw their congressional map. You have to have sort of equal representation in each district that decides, what any given member of the House, what area they represent. That's supposed to take place every 10 years after the national census, and the census isn't scheduled to take place until 2030. So Texas essentially agreed to jump the gun by 5 years, redistrict, and create 5 new Republican districts that they hope to win in the 2026 midterms. Texas politics are controlled by Republicans. It is one of those states where it's definitely red, but there is a pretty large contingency of Democratic voters in major cities. Every couple of years, there's one candidate, Democratic candidate in Texas where people are yes, he's going to be the one to do it. Texas is going blue. It hasn't happened yet. But the state is already incredibly gerrymandered. And I think we talked about it in one of our really episodes, what gerrymandering is. But it's essentially when you draw these congressional maps in a way that favors a specific political party. It's the way I like to describe it is politicians choosing their own voters, which is not the way things are supposed to go. Texas is already really gerrymandered. The maps that were produced after the 2020 census are still being litigated in court because people argue that they're unconstitutional. The idea here is that if politicians are drawing their districts in these ways that exclude potentially Latino or Black voters because they want it to be Republican, and if you put more white people in this concentrated area or in this district, then it'll probably be Republican. Those kinds of things can violate civil rights laws, so they get litigated. But what Democrats are trying to do, because Texas is controlled by Republicans and they really have no way of legislatively blocking this new map via vote, is deny the legislature quorum so the legislature can't even bring it to a vote. And what they did was 50, I think more than 50 Texas Democrats got on planes, got on buses, got on whatever, and they went to Chicago. And they're hanging out in Chicago. There's theoretically stuff that's being risked here. The most enforceable thing is financial penalties. They get fined every day they're not in the legislature doing lawmaking. Texas Governor Greg Abbott also filed civil arrest warrants for all the people who left. They are trying to move, or say they're going to try to move, to expel members of the legislature who have broken quorum. But the idea here is until you have a quorum, you can't pass the map. And this map is being pushed through the legislature during a special session, which I believe ends in mid-August. So I think what Democrats are trying to do here is if they wait out the special session and the map doesn't pass, they can, theoretically come back, do some other stuff. If they try to call another special session and hold a vote, they can maybe do this again. They've tried, the quorum breaks have had mixed results in the past. But what it definitely did do was bring this into the national conversation. And I think the idea is that if you put enough pressure nationally on Republicans in Texas and then other states, blue states like California and New York, start threatening to redistrict their maps and like gerrymander the shit out of them, then maybe everyone will pull back and be like, okay, we shouldn't do this because actually it's really bad for the voter. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Not actually pronounced gerrymander.
Yeah, you've told me about this.
I have told you.
Yeah.
No.
It's actually
I will not be doing that.
Apparently, yeah.
Named after former Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry.
I care not for that man.
Who redrew some district lines to make a map that looked like a salamander.
Oh, I do know about the salamander one.
Hence, Garrymander.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
I like the lizard sort of edition.
Lizard edition.
What lizard would you combine your name with? I'd be Gecko.
Like the striker.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
Jacob Gecko of some kind.
I'd just be Crizzard, I think. It's pretty cool.
Crizzard, yeah, that'd be cool. Nickamelion. I know. Well,
It's too close to Nickelodeon,
let us know,
isn't it?
listeners. Let us know. That's the big question. Final one. Some big news that's been going around at the moment. I'm going to ask you both about this because you love Russian stuff. Not in a weird a way. No, Chris loves Russian stuff.
Okay.
Trump meeting Putin then. Do you think this is going to be useful or do they just want to not feel left out?
It's hard to say because the relationship is not good.
It seems not good at the moment.
It seems as though Donald Trump has become incredibly frustrated that Putin isn't becoming a yes man like everyone else around Trump. He's basically becoming frustrated because Putin is basically kind of holding his own and not giving in to Trump, which, I mean, that was always going to happen, really. Yeah. I think Trump is living in an absolute dream if he thought he was going to walk into office and immediately change Putin's mind on Ukraine. I think it's positive if Trump and Putin were to meet face to face. Sure, big fan of diplomacy, big fan of people actually talking to each other rather than exchanging headlines from, miles away. Will anything come from it? I doubt it. It's one of those where you're just going to have to wait and see, really. From reading the headlines, reading the news, it seems as though nothing is going to come from it at all. But I've been wrong before.
You have.
And I really hope I'm wrong this time.
Exactly. Well, now we've got a listener question. This is from Clara Goodwin-Sutty. And this is one just for you, Nikki, because you're the only one who will know the answer to this. Did the price of eggs ever come down? My understanding is that eggs were expensive because of inflation from the pandemic and bird flu, and that was part of what cost Harris the election. Then the economy went into meltdown because of tariff talk back in April. Now everyone has stopped talking about eggs. Also, as a British person, every time news out of the USA makes me annoyed, I cheer myself up with a nice omelette.
Oh, a nice French dish.
No, I don't know. Is it French?
Yeah, omelette's French.
Is it?
Oh, I'm not sure now. Simon will know. He used to work in a high-end restaurant.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I would definitely bet it's French.
I think omelette's French.
It sounds French, doesn't it? Omelette.
It must be French.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Well, it sounds French if you do it in a French accent. If you do it in my accent, omelette.
Omelette.
Doesn't sound French at all, does
Very
it?
good.
Nikki, are you still struggling to buy eggs? Are they still expensive?
I don't eat eggs.
No, me neither.
So this is not. I've told you this is not a struggle that I deal with personally. From what I understand, they have come down, but at the same time, the prices of other things are going up. Like I was reading reports recently that the price of beef is spiking. I think the reason they came down is because, I think they got some of the bird flu stuff under control. Inventory's a little better. I think, was it that they started importing eggs as well? But, the Trump administration started intentionally doing things to lower the price of eggs, and I think it worked. But yeah, I don't buy eggs. I don't like them.
No.
You don't like eggs?
No, I don't. It's the one food I don't like.
I like eggs, but they're not good for me, I don't find.
The smell is weird, and I hate it.
So I ditched them, yeah.
Fucking
weird.
losers.
What's your favourite cheap food stuff, though, then?
What do you mean by that? That could be anything, couldn't it?
No, what's your favourite struggle meal?
Struggle meal?
Yeah, when it's like the end of the month and you're like, fuck, I need to buy something.
I don't have struggle meals.
I like
Beans and tortillas.
Yeah, I like chickpeas.
Well, I mean, our equivalent's beans on toast then there, isn't it?
It could be, but
I
I don't
guess.
really eat
It's like
that.
a British bean taco, isn't it?
Maybe. But yeah, fair enough. So yours is beans on toast.
Not really.
Well, what is it then?
I probably said it
Really?
on this podcast before. It's oxtail soup, timmed potatoes. Delicious.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Cool. All right. Well, now, Chris, stole your thunder there.
Yeah.
Do the real silly question of the week. It's silly question time. We need a
should
jingle
have a
for
little
that.
jingle there,
Chris
shouldn't
is
we?
doing a silly question. Da 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 da.
And then finish it with a big electric guitar solo, Simon. So Simon can work on that.
Thanks, guys.
Silly question-
Thanks so much for that extra task.
Cheers. And you've got less than 24 hours to do it.
Chris is doing a silly question. Da 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 da.
Silly question. So I had really bad. It's another food related
Okay.
question. I had really bad fish and chips last weekend, and listeners to this podcast may know how gorgeous I think fish and chips are.
Okay. But you don't think Sydney Sweeney is. You wouldn't even look at her.
Oh,
You
incredible!
wouldn't give her the time of day.
That's a good throwback, to be honest. But yeah, it's been ruined for me, fish and chips. I won't name the business because that's a dick move.
Yeah, that'd be mental.
And that would be bad for the podcast as well, frankly. We were defeated by big fish and chips.
tore 'em
Anyway,
down.
that's been ruined for me now, and that was one of my favourite things ever. So my question this week is, what's the thing that you loved just the most that has been ruined for you, and how was it ruined? Jarvis.
My old favourite band, brand new, because the lead singer got cancelled. Pretty
You talk about
badly.
Lost Profits, sir.
No, they were never that big on my radar.
Yeah, they
but there's a few that was pretty
You can
bad.
say the name?
Brand new. That's
Oh,
the
right.
band. They're called brand
Okay.
new.
It's a great band.
How did...
Let's not get into
no?
how Jesse Lacey got cancelled, but yeah, it wasn't good.
You're a coward.
And yeah, so that was bad. Food. I'm trying to think of food really. I stopped vaping just because my mate
Sorry,
said
you're thinking about food and you've gone to vapes.
Yeah, they taste similar. It's like food
they
in its own
don't.
way. It is.
Calorie dense air.
I don't... this is awful.
Also, that's the good thing about that's one thing I do miss about vaping was it would be like
You're-
it was a little treat for no calories.
Hang on.
It was like a Diet Coke for my lungs.
You're so emo that when you think of food, you immediately go to vape.
Chris, this motherfucker just said it's a Diet Coke for his lungs. We're not gonna let that slide.
I missed that because I have heard him say that so many times that I've kind of just blocked it out.
But yeah, one of the ways I quit them wasn't just from the obvious health issues. It was just basically my mate was like, it looks well embarrassing that, doesn't it? And I sort of, now when I clocks on, I'm a bit like, yeah, I don't want to be doing that. It's not like James Dean, if he was vaping, it wouldn't have worked.
So your own mindset ruined that for you then, really?
Yeah, I just thought
Right.
vaping doesn't look cool and I don't want to look...
Uncool.
Yeah, I don't care about looking cool all the time, but I don't want to look actively lame. That's what I think vaping does.
It's okay.
So, yeah.
Whatever, Jarv.
Brand new and vaping.
Brand new.
Whatever, Jarv.
Which he thinks is food
Whatever.
and also diet. And Nikki, what about you?
Oh my God.
Politics?
Bazinga.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, actually, though, like the United Nations, when I was little, I wanted to work for the UN so bad. I was an MUN kid. I loved it. Like, and then, you grow up and you realize that a lot of it is just really feckless. They do good work. Like, a lot of the humanitarian stuff is really good, but a lot of the actual, like, crisis management, it's pretty toothless. And that was just a huge disappointment to me. Other things, calamari. Calamari's been ruined for me. I used to work at a seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
And one of the things they do to haze you, kind of like light hazing as a cook, because I was a cook at a seafood restaurant, is they make you like clean and prep raw calamari or like raw squid for calamari.
Yeah.
And some restaurants just get it already like, cut and ready to roll and they just fry it. We would prepare our own. I don't want to gross out our listeners, but the inside of a squid is a lot of really gooey material that has a very distinct smell that lingers in the skin. And I can't.
So you don't want to gross the listeners out, and then you went into the grossest description of squid by saying it lingers in the skin.
No, it does. It lingers in the, like I would have to wear 2 pairs of gloves.
Wow.
When I was doing this, and I can't. Calamari for me is really difficult now. I still love squid. There are other forms of squid that I like, but it has to be, like Japanese like squid salad, where you can kind of see like the color and the texture. If it's just like the white rings of calamari, no, can't do it.
Okay. I've never eaten calamari.
You want to know the first time I ate calamari?
Okay.
It was on a buffet at it was a hotel buffet in Lanzarote. Labeled it onion rings. I was 8.
Oh no!
But they were overcooked, and if you overcook calamari, it turns into a rubber band, basically.
Yeah,
Couldn't for the life of me work out what's wrong with those onion rings. Still ate them though. Producer Simon, let's pull you in on this.
Chewing on it like it's a piece of gum.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, horrific.
Gum and a vape. That's a meal, whole meal.
Let Simon speak.
Well, mine is going to be food as well, and it's jelly. So you know how like when you're a kid, jelly is just amazing when you're a kid, right? It's like sugar.
I like
jelly.
Know,
it's cool colors. It's offered in some kind of mold like a rocket, and you're just like you really look forward to having jelly for dessert. And
wait, like gelatin?
Yeah, do you not have jelly in the States?
Okay, we call it Jello. Yeah, we call it Jello.
It's got to be fucking different.
Yeah, Jello. There you go.
For fuck's sake.
And it's also quite fun to make when you're a kid and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was
Jello.
into it for a while. And then the moment that put me off it was my dad taking me to go and get jellied eels.
Oh, okay, that'll do it, yeah.
Which is just, it's the worst. It's like salty jelly and bits of eels floating around. It's just horrible.
Oh, no.
And then, I just had that realization that jelly is just like a gross, wibbly, crushed up animal bone mess. Yeah. And never again.
Got lots of problems, haven't they, eels, Jarv?
They do, yeah. Cocaine in the Thames is another one they don't need.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
I
listeners,
like jelly.
Google that headline.
Yeah, what?
Another problem eels don't need or something.
Cocaine in the Thames is another problem eels don't need.
You'll find out who wrote it and who won't stop talking about it a decade on.
He's been riding that high for 10 fucking years.
It goes viral. It's not my fault that it goes viral.
It is your fault. You wrote it.
All right, Chris, what was ruined for you? Oh, chips.
I said it. Fish and chips.
Okay, right. Well, that brings us...
Fishy chips.
Fishy chips.
No,
Fishy
that sounds
chips.
gross.
Batter chips are good, though.
They're a black country thing, aren't they?
They're very tasty.
Nice.
And that brings us to the end of American Friction. So, everyone, let's get ready for this. A big moment of gratitude. Nikki, thank you.
Thank you, Chris and Jarv and Simon.
Chris.
And you, listener.
And listener.
Who puts up with this.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you.
Why have you slowed the pace right down for this? It's making me really uncomfortable.
Because I'm in control of the pace of the podcast. Chris, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jarv, mate.
And Simon, thank you very much as well. Everybody, thank you.
Thank you.
And, listener, thank you too. And if you want more of this, I hope you do. Search American Friction Podcast Patreon to back us, to help us to keep going, or go to patreon.com/American Friction directly to sign up. There's a link in the show notes. And if you can't back us financially, we do get that, but do go rate, review, subscribe wherever you're listening to the podcast. And also go up to someone in the street and grab them and say, listen to American Friction, the podcast, but don't do it
Don't grab them. Metaphorically grab them.
Don't do it finally. Just tell people to listen to the podcast.
Shout about it.
Yeah, shout it from the rooftop of the White House. Call back, Sydney Sweeney,
Good.
jeans, the end. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye.